Hey there, my name is Pravus and welcome back to the Farthest Frontier in Gimli'sburg. The city defenses are coming along pretty nicely. We've certainly got a palisade across a lot of the city. Got a long way to go though if I do intend on getting the wall all the way over to this other lake to function as a choke point, but we'll get there in due time. I am going to relocate a handful of my industrial buildings off over in this corner. Still far away from a lot of the houses, but it kind of gives me some more breathing room to continue building out residential neighborhoods if I need to, because now that we're getting our food more or less under control, I think we're in a better position to support a larger population than what we had before. That said, that's going to come with a whole bunch of growing pains if we do that, including needing more luxuries, more soap, more firewood, whatever it's going to be. So we've still got to be at least a little bit careful. Now, another thing we're going to need to worry about pretty soon here is actually going to be rat catchers, believe it or not. So the game just got a little bit of an update not too long ago, I think like just a few days ago. Most of the changes are impacting things like map seed generation, so larger rocks, more resources of the iron mines and so on. All pretty nice, not very helpful to me right now. But rats apparently have been turned up a little bit, at least in some of my test games I'm noticing that, and they really get around and start eating like all of your food. Well, at the very least they infest like all of your food. So we need to start placing these suckers down, and I've been enjoying leaving that alone up to this point, but no longer. Now we need lots of rat catchers, so I'm going to go ahead and place at least 2 or 3 of these suckers down. We can move the working zone later, so don't worry too much about the placement, it's okay. But yeah, we're probably going to need at least 3, because a lot of my storage is kind of spread out in several different areas. Yeah, case in point, even with the population I have now, before we've even grown anything, you can see that our firewood is dropping rather precipitously. I am going to upgrade these firewood splitters to try and boost up our production and keep us going through the winters, but even that's not going to end up being enough. At some point, we're going to start burning through our logs so fast, it's going to be a problem. I really, really wish there was a way, maybe there is and I'm just missing it, but I don't know of one. I wish there was a way to encourage charcoal use for heating, so that we would be able to be more efficient, right? You convert the firewood into charcoal, it takes extra labor, but it produces more heat overall, therefore it's a more efficient use of your wood. That would be very nice. Maybe that's something that gets added in, but between all the heating that's going on here, plus other random activities, for example, needing firewood for soap shops, it's gonna be really, really difficult for me to stay on top of this. At some point, we're gonna need a huge labor pool constantly chopping down trees just to keep our logs on track with my actual needs. That might be where trade is gonna come into play. I'm trying to send over a lot more luxury goods and stuff over here so that we will have plenty to trade if I need it. But I'm pretty sure that at some point, we're going to find that producing raw resources is going to be very difficult to do consistently for a large population. And instead, we're going to have to start importing a lot of that, or at least buying it whenever it does come through, and then just turn into more of a manufacturing sector economy. That is to say, we take those raw goods, we refine it for profit in order to buy more raw goods and keep us afloat. That might be what's going to happen in the future. By the way, the fish apparently have regenerated. Now we're up to 353 again. What happened? Don't know. But that means we can now go ahead and turn people on to fishing again. Hooray, more food. By the way, we did get a nice little pop-up or a little notification when a trader arrives. That is something new in the latest patch, so you don't miss out, or at least you have some extra prompt to say, hey, if you rely on trade, this is your chance, pay attention. And in this case, I do plan on buying, like, his entire stock of, well, a lot of things, actually. I want all the wood, I want all the stone, and just as importantly, I want all of this tallow. Something I've been discovering as I've been playing more with this game is that tallow can get a little bit hard to come by unless you're very lucky with lots and lots of good hunting spots. Eventually, our cow farms, once we start getting too large of a herd and we start culling that, will be able to produce a little bit of extra stuff for me, but it's gonna be a little while. So it's really, really important that you have lots of tallow in order to make enough soap, otherwise your health will start to drop off really quickly. I do think that the AI needs some improvement whenever a building goes on fire. I mean, as you can see here, like a building caught on fire over here, right, the bakery, someone burnt the toast, and then, like, everyone dropped what they were doing to find the nearest well and gather up water, and look how much water just got dropped around over here. I mean, that's a bunch of workers who literally dropped whatever they were carrying on the ground to get water, and it turns out I didn't need anywhere near that many people to deal with a single fire. So, I don't know. It feels to me like there needs to be a better way to deal with that. Either less workers dedicated to putting out fires, or I need to have like a fire brigade system or something. I don't know what it's gonna be. Something else I want to build is a barracks. If we go down to fences over here, we can construct this thing. Yeah, it costs me a little bit of gold to maintain, but that's actually not the real kicker. What we can do is employ some people to function as soldiers, a mobile defense force, people wearing armor, equipped with bows and swords. We can move them wherever we want them to go in order to try and intercept any raiders on the way, which is pretty nice. We also need to get a barracks in order to upgrade our lookout towers so that they will have extra range and extra damage. So I want to get one of these things built up and then maybe have one or even two towers close to the center of town so we'll be able to do a lot of damage when a raid comes. One thing I have noticed is that generally speaking, towers don't seem to be very good at dealing with enemies as they approach. That is to say, if they get like right underneath them. I mean, we had seen before the gates seemed to be stopping them. They were trying to shoot and made no progress, but it also kind of looks to me like towers are literally unable to shoot things directly underneath them, which makes some sense. It does mean that towers are very likely to get destroyed once the gates break, though. So we may want to start building these towers in pairs so that they can peel for each other. I wonder if something got retuned again with the rats, because I'm actually not seeing any of them pop up here right now, which is bizarre because, again, in my test game, which I'm doing kind of in parallel with all of this, I definitely was having rat infestation issues. Every single thing had a rat. So I don't know what's going on over here. If rats bizarrely got overtuned in my test game and they've been since corrected, then I apologize to the devs for giving out false information. But I know what I saw, and it was a rat infestation on literally everything that could store food, except for the granary, interestingly, but that's kind of the purpose of a granary anyway. And I had to have a rat catcher dedicated to getting rid of them. And it worked. It was fine. You just had to actually build these things. Huh. Maybe they just appear sometimes and not other times, which would be weird. Anyway, here's a barracks. So over here what we can do is we can actually assign a couple of people, if we want, to be soldiers. And they're going to go ahead and gather some hide coats for defense, unless I have armor, which I don't, plus some bows and arrows, plus any weapons, if I have any. And these guys will be able to go wherever I want them. So there's this little thing here called a combat area, and I can place down a flag, let's say here, and my soldiers will quickly gather up whatever they need and go stand here waiting for enemies to come by. And then you click on the flag and you just tell them you can return to barracks. So again, mobile defense. If I know the raiders are coming down over here, then rather than try to quickly whip up another tower, which there's definitely no time to do, I could instead just go ahead and grab at least a couple of my soldiers and move them down here ready to go. Case in point, actually, I have a bear that is now pushing through over here. What I could do is literally just set a combat area over in this direction, tell my soldiers, book it over here, that we have a tower that's also kind of doing the job, so that's fine. Actually, might just kill this thing outright. Darn it. But here come the soldiers, see, and they're ready, and they just stand around over here ready to fight whatever comes by. It's pretty helpful. The only downside is it could be a little bit expensive because you have to pay, you know, some extra monthly costs to maintain these guys. Yearly taxes collected. We made almost 2,000 gold ingots just from taxes in the last year. That's not bad, like several hundred coming from a market square right now. I'm liking that a lot. Okay. It is interesting to see how this is gradually transitioning away from being a self-sufficient colony and becoming more of a tax and spend economy. Really interesting. The only problem I've got with that is that there's definitely a certain element of luck based on what the traders actually bring you. If they happen to bring what you want, hey, good, you're golden. If they don't, well, here's hoping they do soon, because otherwise you are sunk. I'm kind of expecting a raid at, like, any second now. I don't know where it's going to come from. Hopefully an area that I've fortified at least a little bit, since I've made zero progress on the walls since I started this episode. But, yeah, raiders, it feels like they come every, I don't know, 4 years or so, maybe a little bit more. And I can't decide if, like, village wealth is what is going to increase their numbers, like in RimWorld, or if it's just time-based, which actually could also be in RimWorld. It just depends on your settings. Oh boy, we got a bear, we got a bear, we got a bear. Oh, Tim saw a bear. That's an inside joke, by the way, for those who do not know. I'll just go ahead and explain it while I have Netta run for her freaking life. When I went up to New York not too long ago, like a couple years ago, actually about a year and a half ago, we went to the Finger Lakes up in the north, just tour wine country, and there's a nice little trail up there. Actually, there's a lot of wonderful, like, hiking trails with lots of waterfalls and stuff. It's a beautiful area in general. But one of them was named Bear Trail, and we looked at the description of it, and it basically was like, somebody once reported seeing a bear here, so it's called Bear Trail. And I'm like, once? Just once? So for the entire rest of the hike, I was making up a funny story about how Tim, you know, some notorious liar of a ranger, claimed to have seen seen a bear running up in that area, and I just started making up a song. Whoa, Tim saw a bear, and nobody cared. That kind of thing, and it just made my wife laugh hysterically, which was good, because it was actually a pretty hard hike, and she was starting to get a little bit antsy. But every time she was getting in a bad mood, whoa, Tim saw a bear. Makes her laugh to this day. Oh my gosh, the deer are coming over here to eat my freaking fields. Like, they're actually eating a lot of my rye. On one hand, that's convenient. Thank you for bringing the deer right to me, ye fools. On the other hand, freaking get out of here, you stupid overgrown vermin. We do want to start thinking a bit about our whoa, my God, someone please deal with this, thank you. We do need to start thinking about long-term economic prospects. What kind of luxury goods do I think that I will be able to reasonably make and sell in order to make some money, right? I don't think it's going to be stuff like armor, weapons, tools, etc. That doesn't make a lot of sense because I have a limited amount of iron ore in the map before I have to go and set up a whole nother deposit. In fact, over here, I've only got 115 left. So that's not a very good option, I don't think. Wood is an option, but we need it for so many things. I hate to use up wood for things like furniture or bows and arrows to sell. So I need something somewhat renewable. Beer comes to mind. Lots of wheat and lots of honey turns into lots of beer, which I could sell. Clothing seems like a good option as well because I can grow lots of flax. We have lots of clay in this particular map, so I'm thinking pottery and then candles. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's all I've really got to work with on this particular map. I don't want to use, let's say, shoes or anything. I need those hides. Hides are hard enough to come by because hunting is not working nearly as effectively as I want it to, and I need that stuff for shoes. So, and tallow I'm using for things like soap. I don't want to sell any of that. So those are the only 4 things I feel like I can make in gross excess without draining any key resources that I need to keep myself afloat. I also want to note a mistake that I've been making in some trade, which has been literally very costly. So I look at this green right here and I'm like, aha, that's what I want. Sell goods at a higher price. Buy goods at a lower price. Yeah, except that's not actually how it works down over here. If I take a look at this trader is still selling at a higher than average price. I've been looking at this green when they're selling something and thinking, oh, it's a good deal. No, it's actually the worst deal. Buy when is red, sell when is green. That should be pretty obvious for most people, but somehow I overlooked it. So I'm letting y'all know, don't do a stupid like me. Yeah, my economy is looking a lot better all of a sudden. Once I just kind of got over the fact that I need to start spending money to buy raw resources, like now we're sitting on a good amount of tallow, which means I actually can continue producing a lot more soap, so I can actually start meeting people's needs. And in fact, we actually should go ahead and assign a couple of extra workers down over that away. Yeah, this is going to make a big difference. I think this is something that's going to frustrate a lot of people. And it admittedly has frustrated me a little bit until I think I'm starting to figure it out. Don't expect to go into this game pursuing self-sufficiency. I mean, you probably could try. You might get lucky with the map seeds now that resources have been increased. But you really need to start thinking, once you get around like 150 population, how you're going to transition into producing excess goods to sell, and that will make up any deficit you might have. By the way, we just upgraded a nice little tower over here. Beautiful. Okay. We have a watchtower, and the reason I went for that upgrade, if we take a look over here, it says that upgrades not only increase hit points, but also do additional range damage and increase range. So placing some of these close to the center, so I have extra range and I can just continue pinging down the raiders as fast as possible, makes a whole lot of sense. Oh, okay, raiders have been sighted. Where are they coming from? Way over here. Okay. Well, we need to go ahead and get ourselves another person set up in the tower over here, and then for our barracks, let's go ahead and move the combat flag down this direction. I don't know if they can shoot through the walls or not. Well, we're going to find out in a second. Now, that said, just because I see raiders over here does not mean that there aren't going to be more coming in from somewhere else. So let's keep an eye on that. It says only 9. I just don't believe it. I feel like that's nowhere near as many as I should be expecting. Okay, wait, hang on. 26. Aha! Whole bunch more over here. See, I told you. I told you that was going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't have enough people for all of this. Let's stop employing the rat catchers for a second and assign everyone over here to become some guards. Just grab a bow and be useful or something. I don't know. And we're just going to kill that guy off. No problem. Okay, how we doing over here? Seems like it's going to be all right. They took a pot shot at me. Rude. All right, soldiers have arrived, and they can shoot through the gates. Well, that's really good to know. Okay, so let's see how this works out. I sort of don't have a good feeling about the survival chances of some people, like, let's say my Carter over here. You should probably get the heck out of Dodge. They're trying to knock down this tower, and they're probably going to succeed. I do like that they automatically disengage once they get below a certain level of health. I don't feel the need to chase these guys down. As far as I know, I gain nothing from this. Like, if I looted their bodies and got their weapons and armor, then chasing these guys down would be really, really enticing. But alas, doesn't look like it's going to work out that way. All right, so they're trying to take a few more shots at me. I got towers that are shooting at a pretty long, safe distance over here. Did they even get close to the center of town? Nope, the soldiers were able to finish off the rest. They didn't even break this down. Yeah, having 2 extra people with bows apparently is all I need in order to hold this area down. Nice, 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 nice. I didn't even have to ring the town bell. That's how effective our defense was. And you know what? Since we probably aren't going to be attacked for a while, now we can go ahead and just disengage all of the guards. Just have some laborers working literally any other job right now. We shouldn't need any more defenses. They'll think twice before they come back. And by twice, I mean, like, they'll think for, like, I don't know, a couple years, and then they'll be back. They'll be back. I'm setting up another barn over in this direction, by the way, because I do want to continue expanding the herd. It's already up to 12, so every additional cow that is born, we're going to be slaughtering one. I feel like that's a waste, considering how much milk and tallow and stuff we could be getting. Let's go ahead and start getting a whole second population growing, and then once that gets up to critical mass, we'll have even more tallow, hides, meat, etc. Let's see, we were able to kill off 13 raiders. We lost nothing except for a gate. Now that's what I'm talking about. Hey, look! Rats! I told you we were going to have rats. There we go. Building overrun with rodents, partly because there is also poop. I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, good to know. So yeah, the rats are still enabled. I was a little bit worried that they were going to be gone completely. And like, what the heck? Did I accidentally disable the rats? No. And we got our rat catchers, which means they're going around. They're literally just stomping them. That's kind of what I get out of it. I don't know if you can hear it very well. That, you hear that? Squeak, 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 a thunk. I'm just thinking that basically they either step on it or smack it with a broom or something. Anyway, I'm building a second brewery over here, plus a dedicated granary only to store grain nearby, so that we will be able to start doubling up on our beer production. I feel like that's going to be a very easy way for us to start making a little bit of extra gold. Wait, why am I building another potter when I could just go ahead and assign more people to work at the same pottery shop? Yeah, forget this thing. Hang on a second. What am I doing? No. Just assign more people to work the same job and you end up doing better. That's perfect. Do we have water nearby? We do, so we're okay on that front. We are officially collecting over 2,000 gold ingots per year. So yeah, definitely more of that tax and spend economy here. Let's go ahead and assign some more of that gold over, and we will be ready for the next round of traders to see what they have to offer. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I think I understand now. Yeah, like, okay, so here's a trader who's selling 500 logs for cheap. Dude, that's 1,500 gold, which is, like, not a lot, to get enough logs to keep me sustained for, like, another 2 or 3 years. Maybe not that much, but on top of what I'm already doing, yeah. Dude, I don't see any reason not to do that. That seems outstanding. Ah, dang, we're out of iron ore. All right, let's go ahead and salvage this building, get rid of some of that stuff. So, if the iron ore deposit's empty over here, there was another one somewhere up this direction. There it is. Okay, so that's got another, only 56? Yeah, that is not a lot. I can see why they increased the deposit size in the game. So we got another huge amount of iron ore over this direction. Okay, so if we're going to be getting some iron ore, it appears that this is going to be the way to go. And that should keep us going for a long time. Not to mention we have a fair bit of gold over here as well. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to be fine on iron then. It just means we have to travel a much, much longer distance. Oh, and here's something else to note. So some of our buildings are gradually losing durability. We've been playing the game long enough that durability and hit points for our buildings is going down. Which actually is probably one of the main reasons we're using up a lot of wooden planks, even when I'm not building anything, because we're trying to repair. I believe that I saw some common complaints for the game is that the villagers were not properly repairing, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that was addressed and more or less fixed in the last major update, so I'm hoping that's not actually a problem for us. Here's another thing about the AI that I'm not really thrilled about. So I wanted to build out this farm, right? A new farm plot. The result is not just the 3 workers who were going to be assigned to this going ahead and starting to dig out the field, but it looks like everyone has abandoned every other field to go work over here as fast as they can. That doesn't make any sense. I still need people to start planting their own crops down here, please and thank you. I don't want everyone working over here. This doesn't make a lot of sense. It just seems like a great way to destroy your food. Now, if they could till it during the winter or something when they're already, you know, on their off season, that'd be one thing. But of course, it's very hard to till the ground in the snow and the frozen mud. So it makes sense they can't do that. It's just, this is a problem to me. You're sacrificing almost a year's worth of food production because we're trying to grow out one more farm. That doesn't make sense. No, thank you. And yet, here's another thing that doesn't make sense. Despite the fact that I shouldn't be doing anything as far as growing, because no farmers have come over here, I'm still seeing that at least some stuff apparently has been planted. So, maybe it's weird where people have secretly done their job and then they come over here, or what? You know, maybe I'm complaining about something that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know. I actually have no idea. It seems like some people are going around and doing their jobs. I know that there were so many farmers over here when they should be working. That can't be right. But maybe I'm overlooking it. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm just complaining for no reason. Is that possible? You think that I could do something like that? I think I could do something like that. Let's go ahead and split up my cow herd, by the way. So we can do this. Divide herd. I'm going to split it basically in half. Confirm that I want to send to this barn, and bada boom. Okay, so we'll have to bring some more fodder over, but the cows should automatically leave the farm without any guidance. They're just that smart, and get on over here. So now we have 2 populations of cows that should be going. I'm hoping we're going to find ourselves getting 3 or 4 new births per year, and that very quickly we're going to end up having a pretty nice herd that I can cull at will. Oh, there we go. See, 4 more livestock have been born. Perfect. All right, so we're up to 7 and 9. Woo, there we go. Why were people not very happy? They still aren't getting enough soap. Interesting. I've got 4 people working on this overtime. I don't think I'm out of things like herbs. I should be okay on firewood, albeit kind of barely. How are we doing on tallow? Running out of tallow pretty darn quick, not gonna lie. Tallow is going to be a major bottleneck for us. But I honestly don't think there's a lot that I can do about it. My hunters are just not as effective as I would like them to be. And trapping apparently does not actually get you any tallow, at least as far as I can tell. So, yeah, no, I have no idea how the game expects me to get enough tallow to keep on top of this, shy of lots and lots and lots of cows. But I think that's just going to be one of those things I have to buy pretty much from here on out. You know something else I want to build? Let's go ahead and get ourselves a cheese maker. Now that I am, in fact, making plenty of milk, I'm pretty sure, we should go ahead and start making some delicious, delicious kinds of cheeses. I don't know what kind of cheese. At the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter what kind of cheese, but if you guys got a theory, by all means, put it in the comment section down below. Oompa loompa doompa dee doo, I've got another riddle for you. Honestly, these guys are just hilarious to me. I love it. They all just march perfectly. Anyway, right, we're gonna let some more immigrants absolutely come in, by all means. Cheese, right, we're still working on cheese. Hang on. There we go. All right, what does a cheese maker do? It takes 1 milk and makes 1 cheese with nothing else involved. Well, that's nice. Now, what does that really add for us, though? Does the cheese provide a higher, quote-unquote, nutritional or caloric value than the milk? Like, I'm putting labor in, am I gaining any value out of cheese? Or is milk the same thing because all it takes is 1 food item regardless of how processed it is? I mean, obviously, this would be a very good way to make a lot of money, right? If we're going to be getting a huge amount of cheese and tons of cows, we might be able to sell off some of that excess, and I'll bet you it's worth more than the raw milk. But as far as food, which is technically what matters, is it better? I don't know. Village under attack, 37 more raiders. Okay, coming from the same rough direction as before. Oh, let's go ahead and get someone else assigned over this way. Let's go to our barracks. Let us reassign people down here so they can take a few shots. And let me guess, they're going to come from another direction. Here they are, and we're already picking off a few over here as well. I could use another archer. Like so. Okay, they might be able to break through a wall down over here and try to start taking my beer. You know, if there's ever a good reason to go ahead and attack, I suppose trying to get some beer from people is not the worst thing I've ever seen. One thing I'm not loving is that our people are not properly retreating. I do want them to get out of here. I would happily select this whole group, but I don't want to grab the soldiers by accident too, so... Can you all just try to get the heck out of Dodge without dying? Oh, wait, we lost a villager. Dang it. Oh, they're attacking over here as well. Gosh dang, we are getting hit hard by a lot of guys all at once. Phrasing, amazing. Okay, so they've broken through and they're heading straight to the center, but guess what? We have a whole load of arrows in place. It was absolutely a trap. And now we're getting attacked off in that direction. That's easy enough. Hold up. Let's click on the flag. Let's move it down over this direction so that we can start shooting them as they come through. Though it looks like they gave up on that, realizing it was a dumb choice, and now they're getting killed. Okay, so we lost at least one person. Unfortunately, someone who was hanging out over here. I feel like the villagers don't really retreat, though. Like, I've selected this, right? We rang the bell. Do you see how many villagers are still going around with their daily lives? Like, I want people to actually retreat and garrison. Maybe there needs to be another garrison building. So did they manage to cause much damage? They destroyed one gate, they killed one person, we killed 10 of them, they got absolutely no resources whatsoever. Yeah, despite the fact that their numbers are growing, we seem to be able to handle them pretty well. 49 more villagers graduated. But that only increased my education by 5%. That can't be right. Oh, the village was raided again. We killed 6 more, but lost nothing. I think they're sending multiple waves, man. The game is registering it that way for absolute sure. Here comes all the cheese, by the way. Looks like we made... Is that saying 420? I can't really tell. 420 cheese feels like a lot of cheese, though. I mean, we got 322 in the bank, so I'm going to go with, yeah. Wow, this thing's able to process a lot, and I can have 4 more people work here. Dang. Actually, yeah, as far as, like, just concentration of, like, how many resources you can produce for the amount of labor being put in, this is pretty good. And you know the reason why? Because I don't have to go looking to grab things like firewood in order to do this. The less trips people have to make to the storage, generally speaking, the more efficient all of this is going to be. Anyway, so while we're in a position where I don't feel like I need a lot of defense, I am maxing out things like our potter building, our weaver. We are producing lots more raw goods. I've still got plenty more gold coming in that I am not making use of right now. And our defenses are definitely improving. I mean, we were able to build the wall out all the way out over here, and now I just have to build it out over this direction. And then we got all this extra elbow room with which I would be able to continue to grow. However, of course, the larger the population grows, the harder it is to actually get anything done. Kind of ironic, right? But that's just kind of how it is everyone has to go and transfer resources from home to home. Pretty soon, I would like to be able to boost up our desirability on some of these homes. We're up to like 53% on some of these. All I need are some upgrades to things like the shrine, or maybe the healer's house, or whatever it's gonna be, and we might be able to start getting some tier 3 houses up and running. I don't know if they're that much better, but that would be kind of fun. Thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you're still enjoying this series. If you are, I would humbly ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.